Have you ever wondered if a punishment, short of the death penalty, could still be considered too extreme or fundamentally unfair? It is a question that goes to the heart of justice and how society treats its citizens within the legal system. Yes, non-capital sentences can absolutely be considered cruel and unusual. The Eighth Amendment to the United States Constitution broadly prohibits cruel and unusual punishments, and this protection extends beyond just the death penalty to encompass sentences of imprisonment or other penalties that are grossly disproportionate to the crime committed. The legal reasoning behind this stems from the Supreme Court's interpretation of the Eighth Amendment. Initially, it was mainly understood to prohibit barbaric methods of punishment. However, over time, the court recognized that a punishment could also be unconstitutional if it was excessive or disproportionate to the offense. This concept, first clearly articulated in cases like Weems versus United States in 1910, established that the state cannot impose a penalty that is greater than what is necessary to achieve the goals of punishment. Later, the landmark case of Trop versus Dulles in 1950, it introduced the idea of evolving standards of decency, meaning that what is considered cruel and unusual changes with society's moral progress. When determining whether a non-capital sentence violates the Eighth Amendment, courts typically undertake a multifaceted analysis. They scrutinize the gravity of the offense and the harshness of the penalty, ensuring there is a degree of proportionality. Judges also consider the sentences imposed on other criminals in the same jurisdiction for similar crimes, as well as the sentences imposed for the same crime in other jurisdictions, to identify gross disparities. Furthermore, courts evaluate the legislative judgments of how such offenses should be punished and may consider public opinion, although these are not solely determinative factors. An important concept in this area is what is known as categorical proportionality, which means certain types of sentences are deemed unconstitutional for specific categories of crimes or offenders, regardless of the individual facts. For instance, the Supreme Court has ruled that sentencing a juvenile to life in prison without parole for a non-homicide offense is unconstitutional, acknowledging the unique developmental stage of young people. These decisions reflected the court's ongoing role in defining the boundary between acceptable state power and fundamental human dignity. Ultimately, the Eighth Amendment serves as a critical safeguard, ensuring that even non-capital punishments align with our society's evolving standards of decency and are not grossly disproportionate to the offense. It provides a vital check on governmental power, upholding the principle that justice must be fair and humane, protecting individuals from excessively harsh penalties that undermine the very purpose of a just legal system.